In his seminal book, The Fourth Industrial Revolution, Klaus Schwab cautioned leaders of the disruptive effect digital technologies like AI, cloud computing, big data, and IoT would have on their existing business models, stating, "The question for all industries and companies, without exception, is no longer, am I going to be disrupted, but when is disruption coming? What form will it take? And how will it affect me and my organization?" Hi, I'm Hadley Withington with Accelare, an elite ServiceNow partner, and in the next 4 or 5 minutes, we would like to show you how Accelare's platform-based design engineering approach, coupled with ServiceNow's strategic portfolio management software as a service, can facilitate digital transformation to obviate Schwab's prescient warning. At Accelare, we believe we do ServiceNow differently by taking a prescriptive approach to digital transformation. Today, we would like to explore that approach from the perspectives of the CEO, CIO, and CXO. This is timely because according to a recent KPMG CEO Outlook survey, 2/3 of the CEOs polled worldwide intend to invest in disruption detection and innovation processes in response to Schwab's warning. Because they realize their old business models and processes are reaching end of life, placing the CEO in the unenviable position of having to run and improve their existing 1.0 business model while simultaneously transforming that very same organization into their 2.0 business model. This is new territory, requiring new planning and execution tools their current strategy tools are ill-suited to address. Traditional steady-state strategic planning activities typically rely upon the construct of mission, vision, and values to set priorities which drive long-term and short-term goals. However, the world we live in today is anything but steady state. Elected officials continue to drive public policy discussion to the extremes. Climate change, wars, pandemics, and other global events are impacting supply chains and global economic stability, and AI applications like ChatGPT are accelerating the very disruption Schwab warned of. In this dynamic environment, the mission, vision, values framework is ill-equipped to address the changes ahead of us. Today, executives need an additional strategic planning layer within the planning pyramid. The operating model design, specifically the digital operating model. And to be clear, Accelare defines the operating model as both an abstract and visual representation of how an organization delivers its value proposition, and by virtue of it being a digital operating model, typically falls in the lap of the CIO. Which has forced them to acknowledge their legacy operations can't keep pace, realizing their organization needs a new digital operating model to plan, build, operate, and service for the world as it undergoes this revolution. Unfortunately, to do so, most are using a retrospective look into their existing 1.0 business model through the lens of the org chart, a management tool first introduced back during the first industrial revolution. And it's on the backdrop of that org chart where the projects intended to address the strategy emanate. Unfortunately, this traditional planning and budgeting exercise results in a hodgepodge of functionally optimized projects desperately clinging to the existing business model and ill-suited for the digital disruption ahead of the organization. Worse still, the portfolio of projects is often handed to the CIO to sort out priorities without adequate context. And it's those projects striving for functional optimization, most often starting and stopping within the departmental silos, that cause the interdepartmental gaps in their customer journey, causing the CXO heartburn as they realize org charts and silos are forcing complexity into people's daily lives. So, if we all agree that a retrospective look through the lens of the org chart is insufficient, what should the CIO be doing? We believe CIO must facilitate a forward-looking prescriptive design to the operating model, where the organization is viewed as a system of processes or capabilities that deliver the organization's value proposition to its customers and employees. For example, this is the enterprise process model we created for a recent digital transformation engagement. These chevrons represent the major value-producing process families within the organization, with the supporting processes listed under each. This process view allowed us to engage with SMEs and stakeholders to identify areas of concern through a heat mapping exercise. Using this approach, the group quickly identified new processes necessary to meet future digital strategy, as well as evaluate existing operational shortcomings. Using a simple red, yellow, green coding schema vividly illustrates the need and priority of a series of projects necessary to address the organization's short-term and long-term goals. This portfolio of projects represent the input to SPM's Run the Business approach. Unfortunately, managing all projects with the same systems development lifecycle, or SDLC, ignores the fundamental differences between strategic and tactical projects. At their core, organizations strive to achieve two things. The first is to run their current operations profitably, and the second, respond to new business opportunities. And yet, despite best intentions, 66% of projects intended to address those efforts fail in terms of ROI, cost, or schedule, with 39% failing on all three. At Accelare, we believe this is because organizations fail to recognize the difference between tactical current operations projects whose scope, objectives, and outcome run the current business, and new business opportunity projects whose scope, objectives, and outcome change the business in response to new business opportunities. These latter projects, like digital transformation, are more ambitious, intended to re-engineer the business, making dramatic changes to the way the organization delivers value to their customers. Which is why Accelere's platform-based design engineering methodology bifurcates the SDLC into a run and improve SDLC and a transform SDLC. Let's take a quick look at the handoff between Accelere's platform-based design engineering methodology and SPM, where the run, improve, and transform roadmap is created. Specifically, the output of this workshop interfaces with SPM through its Idea Portal, Demand Workbench, Portfolio Planning, and Investment Funding modules. Let's return to the Enterprise Process Model, or EPM, described earlier using Accelare WorkFit Capability Mapper, an EPM tool that we've created in ServiceNow, which we include during our SPM implementations. Clicking on any of the processes within the model initiates the handoff into SPM. As an illustration, we will select the fillable LEA PDF process, a business process we would like to include in our transformation project portfolio. Here we see the familiar interface into SPM, where specifics like the business service, user stories, demands, applications, and capabilities teams are identified. Incorporating Accelere's platform-based design engineering within ServiceNow's SPM product enables organizations to address the needs of running the business simultaneous with the opportunities of changing the business through true digital transformation. If you would like to learn more about how we do SPM differently, please reach out to us at accelare.com. Thank you.